Hi there. Real quick before we jump into the episode. If you enjoy this episode, or any of the other episodes, be sure to give us a follow or subscribe. It would also be great if you shared it with a friend, or better yet, left a review so others can know how awesome it is. Thanks so much. And now, the episode.
Hey there, Press Starters, and welcome to the Press Start Leadership Podcast, the podcast about game-changing leadership, teaching you how to get the most out of your product and development team and become the leader you were meant to be. Leadership coaching and training for the international game industry professional. Now, let me introduce you to your host, the man, the myth, the legend, Christopher Mifsud.
Hey there, Press Starters, and welcome back to another awesome edition of the Press Start Leadership Podcast. On this week's episode, we'll be discussing building strategic vision in game projects, how game industry leaders balance long-term direction with practical execution, stakeholder alignment, and adaptable roadmaps, why strategic vision matters in game development. Every game project starts with an idea, a spark, a concept that feels exciting, bold, or necessary. But ideas alone do not carry projects across years of development, dozens of stakeholders, shifting technology, budget pressure, and evolving markets. Strategic vision does. Strategic vision is one of the most misunderstood leadership responsibilities in the video game industry. Many people associate vision with pitch decks, early prototypes, or inspirational speeches. In reality, vision is not what you say at the beginning of a project. It is what guides your decisions when things inevitably get complicated. I've seen projects succeed not because they had perfect plans, but because they had leaders who could hold a clear long-term vision while navigating messy short-term realities. I've also seen promising projects slowly unravel because that vision became blurred, diluted, or quietly abandoned under pressure. Game development is uniquely vulnerable to vision drift. Production cycles are long, teams change, constraints evolve, feedback arrives late, and sometimes contradicts earlier assumptions. Without strong strategic vision, teams end up reacting instead of steering. Features pile up without purpose. Roadmaps become rigid promises instead of flexible tools. Stakeholders pull in different directions. Strategic vision is what allows leaders to say yes with confidence, no with clarity, and not yet with credibility. It connects creative ambition with practical execution. It aligns teams and stakeholders around a shared understanding of what truly matters. This podcast explores how leaders can build, communicate, and sustain strategic vision in game projects. It focuses on balancing long-term direction with day-to-day execution, aligning teams and stakeholders, and using adaptable roadmaps to steer complex projects through uncertainty. What strategic vision really means in game projects. Strategic vision is often talked about, but rarely defined clearly. In game development, vision is frequently confused with scope, feature lists, or roadmaps. Those things matter, but they are not vision. Strategic vision answers a different set of questions. What vision actually is. Strategic vision describes what experiences you are trying to create, why the game should exist, who it is for, what makes it distinct, what trade-offs you're willing to make, what you will protect when pressure mounts. Vision is not a list of features. Vision is a filter for decision-making. When vision is clear, decisions become easier. When vision is vague, everything becomes negotiable and projects slowly lose their identity. What vision is not. Vision is not a static document, a marketing slogan, a pitch slide, a promise that nothing will change. Strong vision can evolve, but its core remains stable. It provides direction without locking teams into inflexible plans. How unclear vision shows up during development. When vision is weak or unclear, you often see endless debates about features, scope creep disguised as opportunity, conflicting priorities across disciplines, teams optimizing for their own goals rather than the whole, difficulty explaining decisions to stakeholders. These are not production problems, these are leadership problems. Actionable steps to clarify strategic vision. Write a one-page vision statement. Focus on experience, audience, and purpose rather than features. Identify non-negotiables. Decide what must not be compromised, even under pressure. Stress test the vision. Ask whether it still holds up under budget cuts, delays, or market shifts. Ensure the vision answers why, not just what. Teams need meaning, not just direction. Use vision as a decision filter. If a decision does not support the vision, question it. Vision becomes powerful when it guides behavior, not just conversation. Balancing long-term vision with short-term execution. One of the hardest leadership challenges in game development is holding the long-term vision while managing the daily realities of production. Leaders live in the tension between ambition and constraint. Why vision gets lost during execution. Vision often fades when deadlines approach, budgets tighten, technical issues dominate attention, stakeholder pressure increases, teams enter sustained periods of stress. In these moments, leaders may default to short-term fixes that slowly erode the original intent of the project. The cost of losing the long-term view. When leaders stop reinforcing vision. Teams optimize for speed over coherence. Features get added without purpose. Quality becomes inconsistent. Decision-making becomes reactive. Morale suffers because the work feels directionless. Execution without vision leads to output without identity. How strong leaders balance both. Effective leaders do not choose between vision and execution. They translate vision into actionable priorities that can survive real-world constraints. Actionable steps to balance vision and execution. Translate vision into guiding principles. These principles help teams make aligned decisions independently. Connect daily tasks to the bigger picture. Remind teams how their work contributes to the vision. Protect vision during crisis moments. Pressure is when vision matters most. Make trade-offs explicit. Explain what you are choosing and why. Revisit vision regularly. Vision is not a one-time announcement. Balancing vision and execution is not about perfection. It is about consistency. Aligning teams around a shared strategic vision. Alignment is one of the most important outcomes of a strategic vision. Teams do not need to agree on everything, but they need to move in the same direction. Why alignment breaks down. In game projects, alignment often breaks down because different disciplines interpret vision differently. Communication is inconsistent. Decisions are made without context. Vision is assumed rather than reinforced. Misalignment creates friction, rework, and frustration. Communicating vision across disciplines. Artists, designers, programmers, producers, and marketers all engage with vision differently. Leaders must adapt how they communicate vision to resonate with each group. Vision should be visual for artists, experiential for designers, systemic for programmers, practical for producers, clear for stakeholders. Actionable steps to improve team alignment. Repeat the vision often. Repetition builds shared understanding. Tailor communication to the audience. Same vision, different framing. Use decisions to reinforce vision. Action speaks louder than presentations. Check for understanding, not agreement. Ask teams to explain the vision in their own words. Address misalignment early. Small gaps grow into big problems. Alignment is created through clarity, not control. Shareholder alignment without losing the vision. Game projects rarely exist in isolation. Leaders must navigate internal stakeholders, external partners, publishers, investors, and sometimes licensors. Each brings priorities and expectations and constraints. The tension between vision and pressure. Stakeholders may push for expanded scope, faster timelines, monetization changes, market-driven pivots. Some of these inputs are valuable, others threaten the core vision if not handled carefully. Leadership responsibility and stakeholder management. Strategic leaders listen carefully, negotiate thoughtfully, and protect the heart of the project. Alignment does not mean saying yes to everything. Actionable steps for stakeholder alignment. Map stakeholder priorities clearly. Understand what each stakeholder truly cares about. Define your non-negotiables. Know what compromises you cannot make. Frame discussions around shared goals. Align vision with stakeholder interests where possible. Communicate trade-offs transparently. Explain the cost of changes clearly. Document decisions and rationale. This builds trust and accountability. Strong vision gives leaders credibility when negotiating under pressure. Building adaptable roadmaps that support strategic vision. Roadmaps are tools, not contracts. In game development, rigid roadmaps often collapse under the weight of reality. Adaptable roadmaps support vision without pretending the future is fixed. Why rigid roadmaps fail? Rigid roadmaps fail because unknowns are underestimated, assumptions change, technology surprises teams, player feedback arrives late. When roadmaps are treated as promises, teams feel trapped. What adaptable roadmaps do differently. Adaptable roadmaps focus on outcomes rather than tasks, include decision checkpoints, allow scope adjustments, communicate uncertainty honestly. They provide direction without false certainty. Actionable steps to build better roadmaps. Anchor roadmaps to vision, not features. Make sure every milestone supports Build and review points. Regularly reassess priorities. Communicate uncertainty explicitly. Not everything needs to be locked. Separate goals from implementation details. Protect the outcome while allowing flexibility. Update roadmaps visibly. Transparency builds trust. A good roadmap supports navigation, not prediction. Strategic decision-making when conditions change. No game project survives unchanged. Leaders must make difficult decisions when reality diverges from plan. While these decisions are hard, strategic decisions often involve cutting below features, delaying releases, reallocating resources, changing direction midstream. These choices carry emotional weight and long-term consequences. Using vision to guide tough calls. Vision provides the context leaders need to make painful but necessary decisions. Without it, cuts feel arbitrary and demoralizing. Actionable steps for strategic decisions under pressure. Revisit the vision before deciding. Let it guide your priorities. Evaluate impact, not just effort. Past investments should not dictate future choices. Communicate decisions with honesty and empathy. People deserve clarity. Acknowledge the emotional cost. Strategy affects people, not just plans. Reaffirm the vision after change. Help teams reconnect to purpose. Strategic leadership means making hard decisions while keeping direction intact. Sustaining strategic vision over long development cycles. Long projects challenge even the strongest vision. Fatigue, turnover, shifting priorities can erode clarity over time. Why vision fades? Vision fades when leaders stop reinforcing it, new team members lack context, milestones blur together, stress dominates communication. Vision requires maintenance. Keeping vision alive. Leaders must actively keep vision present through storytelling, rituals, and consistent reinforcement. Actionable steps to sustain vision. Reintroduce vision at major milestones. Use moments of progress to reconnect teams. Onboard new team members with vision first. Context matters more than process. Use storytelling. Remind teams why the project exists. Celebrate vision-aligned wins. Reinforce desired outcomes. Protect vision during leadership transitions. Continuity matters. Vision survives when leaders treat it as a living responsibility. Final thoughts. Leading with vision in a complex industry. Strategic vision is not about predicting the future. It is about providing direction when the future is unclear. In the video game industry, where uncertainty is constant and complexity is unavoidable, vision is one of the most important tools a leader has. Strong vision helps teams make better decisions, align across disciplines, navigate change, and stay motivated during long and difficult projects. It balances ambition with realism. It connects creativity with execution. It gives meaning to trade-offs and clarity to compromise. Building strategic vision is not a one-time task. It is an ongoing leadership practice. It requires reflection, communication, courage, and consistency. Leaders who invest in vision do not eliminate uncertainty. They give their teams the confidence to move forward despite it. In the end, strategic vision is an act of care. It shows respect for the people doing the work and the time they invest, and ensures that effort leads somewhere meaningful. In a complex industry, that clarity makes all the difference. All right, and that's this week's episode of the Press Start Leadership Podcast. Thanks for listening, and as always, thanks for being awesome. Oh, hi. And the episode's over, but thanks for sticking around till the end. Be sure to check out more episodes in the playlist and new episodes every week on Monday. Follow or subscribe so you never miss an episode. Don't forget to leave a review. Thanks again for being awesome.